What's up with y'all, man? Today I got a special treat for y'all. I got a little afro fade, a little afro cut with a little mid taper. My client, he wants to kind of like shape it up, take off like about half an inch around and just make it look uniform all around. So what I do is slap on that 3 guard, man. I sped up the process a little bit because, it takes a while to, shape a fro, especially the right way. So I slapped on that 3 guard, just kind of creating my space where I want to lay my tapers at and just behind the ear, so it just looks more uniform. You want to take your time with this part of the process because this really like lays the foundation of how your fro is going to look, and whenever you shape the top as well. I hope everybody's doing good, having a good beginning of 2026, man. Hope everybody's doing what they want to do, their goals, their aspirations, and just, staying consistent with it. So as you can see, I start going with the grain as well with the 3 guard just to make everything look more smooth. And then I slap on the 1.5. And then I just kind of see any dark spots that I see where it looks too bulky. I just kind of take it down, especially closer to behind the ear, because when you line it up, you don't want to just have like uneven lines and it just looks a little patchy. So you just want to kind of go with the grain as well as you're going up against the grain, and use a comb instead of a brush just to get the knots out. Yeah, I would say using the comb is more important because you can like loosen up more of the hairs, more of the curls, and then as you can see, I take off the guard and I just start freehanding, just kind of smoothing everything out. Because whenever you use a guard, it can kind of leave like an abrupt stop. So I'm just kind of smoothing it out, making it look more like a rounded fro. You also want to make sure that whenever you do a fro, you kind of take account your client's head shape, because yeah, you want the shape of the fro to be round, but you don't want it to be ununiform to, his head shape. So you want to keep that in mind. And also flip the clipper around and lever all the way open, and I just kind of rake through the hair just to make everything one length. All right, as you see, I'm starting to freehand the top of the fro. I like to start in the middle, in the back, and just kind of work my way up in the front. Whenever you go to the front, it's gonna leave like a little ledge over on the hairline, but you can clean that up at the end and round it out whenever you do the lineup. It's kind of like cutting grass, man. You ever cut the grass and then you just kind of go with the pattern right next, one after the other. That's kind of what you do with, shaping up a fro. Just take your time. You want everything to be one, even and, just look nice. It's kind of like, you're sculpting, the shape that you want. I like to put my clipper on one side of the head, and I'll just kind of turn the chair in any direction that I need it to be, so it'll just be like at a fixed point, so I don't have to move my clipper too much. As far as the hairline goes, you want to make sure that you kind of go up to the forehead, put the base of your clipper on the forehead, and just go straight up. And just to take off the overhang you created whenever you're debulking the top of the hair, and just make it, look round in the front, and just making it make sense. Just going up, not digging into the lineup or not digging into the top of the fro, and then just kind of smoothing it out on the top. All right, time to slap on our first taper. My client asked for a mid taper, so I'm setting in my ball line right where the ear starts, right up where the beginning of the ear. Ball it in out, and then you're gonna do lever open, taking it up about 1/2 inch. I'm using kind of the full blade, but I'm really like floating it off the head. You see me, I said 1/2 inch, but I'm really clearing up a lot more space just so that I can see where I'm gonna place the other guidelines. Slapped on the 1.5 guard, just kind of debulking up, not digging in. I'm always floating the clipper off the head, especially with the fro. You don't want to dig in too much and take up the taper too high. Then I close my clipper with the 1.5 guard, and I just kind of clear out a space inside the taper, so whenever I detail with the 1/2 guard, it just comes right out. I said detail with the 1/2 guard, but since it's a little different with coarse hair, you could kind of be more like on the riskier side, I would say, because I'm using just the corner of the blade with no guard and, just raking the hair. You just got to kind of eyeball the taper and feel where you want to place the taper at. Take your time with this part of the process as well. As you can see, I'm starting my client's neckline. You want to try to avoid to push back your client's neckline regardless of what type of cut it is. You just want to kind of base it off the client's head shape and where their hair grows and where the most dense hair grows, and go behind the ear and stuff like that. Make sure you're not pushing it up too far. You want to always come behind your work and detail your work. I'm going to pull out my thinning shears right here and comb through the hair just to see any dark spots I left behind the ear, and just be careful not to nick your client behind the ear. All right, now we're starting on the other side. Same exact process that you did on the other side. Ball line, balled it out, no guard, lever all the way open. Take it up about 1/2 inch to 1 inch, and just kind of detail your work after the 1.5 open and closed. I like to detail, especially with coarse hair, with no guard. So I just feel like the process goes faster. But if you need, to slow down, you can always slap on the 1/2 guard and just move accordingly. Mark my words. All right, now I'm going to the back taper. As you can see, same exact steps, just a bigger canvas, and you just want to take your time with this as well. You're going to see that I kind of create more of a space right here to lay my taper down, because I just seen there's a lot of hair in one area. So you just want to make sure you make everything kind of make sense, the type of haircut you do, especially with the afro. So not to cut too much hair, but cut enough hair to where everything comes together. I feel like with afros, you can use a guard. A guard is good to help, but I feel like freehand is the way to go, especially to get an afro to do exactly what you want to do. And use a comb as well. And also try to develop that raking method. That raking method helps me a lot, especially with coarse hair, just to get everything one length, something that a guard can't really get.
Mark my words.
As you can see, I'm kind of doing like a clipper over comb technique with the trimmer. I feel like this is like a miniature version of this, just to get everything to be more uniform and more gradient to whenever blending into the rest of the fro.
Mark my words.
All right, man. As we head into the end of this cut, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm just coming back behind my work and making sure everything's nice and uniform. I did spray hairspray all over the whole head before I did take off hair, so everything won't move. And so I'm just making sure everything looks nice. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know if y'all appreciate the video. And I keep y'all fresh out here, man.